Superhero flexes are a tried and tested formula, so if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's exactly why you can always count on me to deliver the goods, no matter how many volumes it takes.
You're Iron Man and he just took it? The little brother walked in there, kicked your ass, and took your suit. Is that possible?
Alright, without further ado, I present the best moments when superheroes flexed on each other in the movies, Volume 5. Like, share, and subscribe because my inner Tony Stark needs that ego boost.
Dubs. You're so dark!
These ain't are from the DC universe.
Flexing can be done either by showing off your powers or roasting others with your wit. In this case, it's a little bit of both. Deadpool is the kind of guy whose superpowers feel like secondary qualities when compared to his crude sense of humor.
Who are you? I'm Batman.
The man doesn't spare anyone, even Thanos himself.
Zip it, Thanos.
Of course, if we take a look at the prison fight scene, Wade Wilson does use his power to take on Cable after being freed from the mutant collar, but the real gem arrives when he compares Josh Brolin's vibe to something the DC universe would prefer. That's not cool, man. Just because they killed you twice in the same movie doesn't mean you get to switch loyalties like that. Of course, it's the timing here that adds so much value to the scene, and we only have the extremely talented Mr. Ryan Reynolds to thank for blessing us with his words of wisdom. I can't wait to see what he's got in store for us for Logan in Deadpool 3.
So you're from the future. I have 3 questions then. 1, is dubstep still a thing? 2, do people still homebrew? And 3, does Dopinder ever find love?
Sir, I'm gonna have to ask you to exit the donut.
I told you I don't want to join your super secret boy band.
Musical taste is a highly subjective issue, so you shouldn't really force your favorite artist down someone's throat.
I'm sorry, I don't want to get off on the wrong foot. Do I look at the patch or the eye? Honestly, I'm a bit hungover. I'm not sure if you're real or if I'm having delirium.
I am very real.
Nick Fury clearly didn't get the memo, as can be seen here in Iron Man 2. You'd think the leader of a top-secret spy organization would know that Tony Stark's sonic preferences might be, but the MCU's King of Sass has to explicitly tell him that he's not interested in joining some secret boy band. As we've seen in the movies, Iron Man is more of an AC/DC kind of guy.
Oh, God, you're gonna steal my kidney and sell it?
So Nick should have gone with something like Led Zeppelin. Of course, the sheer disrespect in this scene is pretty evident. I gotta say, I'm surprised Samuel L. Jackson didn't give Robert Downey Jr. a taste of his nasty vocabulary.
Whoa. What? No, he took it? You're Iron Man and he just took it? The little brother walked in there, kicked your ass, and took your suit. Is that possible?
But hey, it's all about timing, isn't it? Don't disturb the man when he's trying to enjoy his favourite burger while also striking an epic pose. See, Tony can be sassy and classy at the same time.
Are you effing stupid?
One of your surveillance drones.
That's a $12 million piece of hardware.
It was.
$20 million is a lot of cash. I mean, most people on the planet wouldn't earn that much money even if you added up all the life savings. Unfortunately for General Calvin, or should I say Martian Manhunter, the Man of Steel isn't all that familiar with material wealth. Bro took down a spy satellite within the blink of an eye and showed no remorse at all. Even the General's stern words have no effect on Superman as he casually looks at him and says that he needs to operate on his own terms.
I know you're trying to find out where I hang my cape. You won't. Look, I'm here to help. But it has to be on my own terms.
Clark Kent really is a man of culture, isn't he? But on more of a serious note, what on earth was the General thinking? I mean, sure, we all know the government's got plenty of cash to flex, but if you're gonna do it, then at least choose the right audience. Superman doesn't care about your millions of dollars. All he wants is some peace and quiet.
What are you smiling about, Captain?
Nothing, sir. I just think he's kind of hot.
Get in the car, Captain.
Yes, sir.
Where's the trigger? Where is it? Tell me where the trigger is. Then you have my permission to die.
The MCU might have brought in a ton of moolah, but if you're looking at cinematic masterpieces in the superhero genre, then I'm afraid nobody can trump Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy. It brought in a new wave of filmmaking approaches that kind of shaped up the DCEU, especially with the darker tones and ominous foreshadowing. The fights between Batman and Bane in The Dark Knight Rises are pretty impactful, especially when you look at the implications in hindsight.
The shadows betray you. Because they belong to me.
I did like the idea of Bane teasing and mocking Bruce Wayne for misunderstanding his relationship with the Shadows. However, he did take it a little bit too far when he told Batman he could only die with his permission.
When it is done, and Gotham is ashes, then you have my permission to die.
Karma was definitely listening, and it presented itself in satisfying fashion in the rematch, where Bruce totally owned Bane and used the same line on him. Payback definitely tastes better when you serve it as a savage retort.
What you really fear is inside yourself. You fear your own power. You fear your anger, the drive to do great or terrible things. To conquer fear, you must become fear. You must bask in the fear of other men. And men fear most what they cannot see.
You guys won. I didn't do anything. I've been here all day.
Relax, Peter. We're not cops.
Of course you're not cops. If you were cops, you wouldn't be driving a rental car.
Nothing stirs the pot better than blatant disregard for your elders. That's exactly what we see in X-Men Days of Future Past, a movie that was made to correct the franchise's timeline, but ended up confusing it even further for all of us. Well, at least we got Peter Maximoff out of it, right? Now, you've always seen me covering his two most iconic Speed performances, but let's not forget that Peter can be quite the savage as well.
So you're not afraid to show your powers?
Powers? What powers? What are you talking about? Is there something strange here?
Just take this scene where he roasts Beast, Professor X, as well as the freaking Wolverine, all with a simple few lines.
Are you FBI? No, you're not cops. Hey, what's with this gift to youngsters place?
And I know me wasn't so young.
Young? You're just old.
Bro clearly didn't watch any of the X-Men movies that came before this, did he? Violations like these should be punishable by law. He did have a point though, didn't he? There's no way the FBI would pull up in a basic ride like that.
How do I know I can trust you?
Because we're just like you.
Sure, man.
It's cool. It was disgusting. Consider this mercy. Tell me, do you bleed? You will.
I think it's pretty safe to say that Henry Cavill is the perfect example of what a real man should be. He has firm principles, he's always respectful, and he's got the body of a Greek god. Alright, I might have gone into simp mode for a little bit now, but my point still stands though. He knows true masculinity. However, Bruce Wayne seems to think otherwise.
You were never a god. You were never even a man.
Normally, I'd question such behavior, but when you put it off with the kind of sass Batman does, it's hard to argue with him.
You're not brave. Men are brave.
It takes a special kind of alpha male to make the Man of Steel question his own toughness, and it's on full display throughout 2016's Batman vs Superman. Of course, it all started with the iconic line that still echoes in all of our hearts.
Do you bleed?
I'm actually waiting for the day I get to stand up against a big tough bully and ask him if he bleeds. I might not come out of it in one piece, but it will sure be worth it.
I bet your parents taught you that you mean something, that you're here for a reason. My parents taught me a different lesson. Dying in the gutter for no reason at all. They taught me the world only makes sense if you force it to.
Who the hell is this? It smells like government.
It doesn't matter. If you're the man who created the Wolverine, you still gotta know your place, right? Logan's most savage moment in the otherwise questionable X-Men origins was definitely the scene with both Stryker and Zero.
Still shooting first, asking questions later?
You still chewing on cheap cigars? Lumberjack. 18 grand a year?
18.5. Plus, I haven't had to kill anyone in a while.
I'm not one to comment on political matters with passion, but to hear Logan's
Smells like government
line was pure gold. I don't know who wrote the script for this scene, but that person definitely deserved a raise. Though I'm not sure if he got it though, especially after the movie's box office collections.
I got it. Haven't aged a day.
Clean living.
Also, this isn't the only thing that happens here.
Country needs you.
He would have had a decent comeback to any of Logan's roasts, but Stryker didn't even give him the chance to put up a fight.
You wanted the animal, Colonel. You got it.
Director Fury, the council has made a decision.
I recognize the council has made a decision, but given that it's a stupid-ass decision, I've elected to ignore it.
My previous entry had Nick Fury getting flexed on by Iron Man, but a man of his stature learns from his mistakes, as can be seen in his appearance in 2015's The Avengers. Fighting an alien army is no small task, so it's understandable for the SHIELD board to come up with some backup measures.
Until I'm certain my team can't hold it, I will not order a nuclear strike against the civilian population.
If we don't hold it here, we lose everything.
I send that bird out we already have.
However, Samuel L. Jackson was never.
If you want to stay ahead of me, you need to keep both eyes open.
Return to Comertage and prepare to hand over America Chavez by sundown.
And if we don't?
Then it won't be Wanda who comes for her. It will be the Scarlet Witch.
Now, I'm a bit torn on how I feel about the multiverse of madness. On the one hand, it's got some amazing performances brought to the table. There were also some sassy words that Scarlet Witch had for Doctor Strange.
You break the rules and become a hero. I do it and I become the enemy. That doesn't seem fair.
I honestly felt a little scared after she told Steven about her alter ego coming for America Chavez, because who talks like that, bro? This is the kind of stuff you see in slasher horror films with a psycho killer. I mean, sure, Wanda isn't exactly the same as the Scarlet Witch, but it's the weight of Elizabeth Olsen's voice that really sells the moment.
Trash, Brock.
Excuse me?
Your picture's a fake.
Parker, you are such a Boy Scout. When are you gonna give a guy a break?
You want forgiveness? Get religion.
You know, I'm actually a little surprised that it took me 5 volumes to mention this absolute gem of a moment. Technically, this is 2 scenes combined into a single entry, but I just had to include Bully Maguire's most meme-worthy line.
I have a 9-year-old daughter who loves Spider-Man. Who's she supposed to look up to now?
This is the guy that gave the key to the city to?
I'm gonna put some dirt in your eye.
It doesn't just end there, because we get to see him flex his authority and his hairstyle over Eddie Brock right after. Yeah, he does expose him for being a fraud, but have some mercy, bro. He just took away the man's livelihood. But nah, Spider spares nothing at all and even tells Brock to reaffirm his religious faith.
If you do this, I will lose everything. There's not a paper in town that will hire me.
You should have thought of that earlier.
You know we're gonna have to print a retraction now. Haven't printed a retraction in 20 years!
Tobey Maguire must be really tired of all these parodies, but on a serious note, he does look menacing here, doesn't he? The flex isn't just a hilarious exaggeration, he actually means business, and you can see it in his bedazzling eyes.
Peter, these are incredible! You gotta have these, Jonah. I'll pay you the usual rate.
If you want the shots, I'll take the staff job. Double the money.
If you enjoyed the video, in the meantime, here's another video that you're gonna enjoy.